I too thought I was useless. I thought people were better off without me. I thought that life insurance would do a better job at taking care of my family and the people I loved. If you're feeling the exact same way I used to feel, then this video is for you. This video is for you because when I was searching for someone to guide me through what I was going through, I couldn't find anyone. And not because they weren't there, I just couldn't look. I didn't have the strength. I was weak. See, there was a point in my life where I felt completely lost. I felt like useless. And it's something I struggled with since I was a child. You see, as men, or as people, we sometimes just hope things are just going to be okay by luck, or whoever is lucky, or whoever we see as lucky is just exactly that, lucky. And what I've come to realize is that when you're stuck in the same cycle, when you're watching others succeed, when you're feeling like no matter what you do, nothing just seems to work, my friend, you got to get yourself out of that. And I say this not because I don't pity you, because I promise you, this is just one of the hardest things ever. In a way, you have to be selfish. Life insurance is offering $1 million. You could potentially offer that in a few years' time if you put your head down and start grafting. But I promise you, you're doing them a favor by staying here. See, this wasn't an overnight transformation. I faced a lot of... You see, I've faced more failures than I can count. And one of the many reasons why I'm able to share what I'm sharing with you today is because those failures didn't break me, they built me. I just didn't see it at the time. It all started as a child. I was in a beautiful household. My parents worked hard. They migrated to a different country and gave me the best childhood they could ever give me. I then returned that favor by trying to become something. The problem with that is I felt useless, especially when I disappointed them. So from a very young age, I started punching myself so that I could feel the punishment of how I made them feel. You see, pain became this thing that made me feel better for being a failure. And this is off script. I wasn't meant to share this. Branched out into relationships. I was the only black kid in my school. And there was this girl I liked. And it took me 2 years to gather the courage to overcome myself and say, you are good enough. she smiles at you. Maybe she does like you. And I gathered the courage and I said, hey, I like you and I want us to be more than friends. She said no. And it wasn't until I had a few relationships here and there, I'll be honest. But it was always what I could get rather than what I wanted. And there's a difference there, because when you just focus on what you can get, what tends to happen is you just feel like you always want more. And I always thought, you know what, just be consistent. It'll work out, it'll work itself out. And for this longest period, I was just be in this box where as long as I got something, I felt like that's just simply what I deserved. You see, I lived a boxed life where I seemed crazy whenever I tried to come out of it. People remind me that this is not what you do, Mac. You're in this box. And the turning point was when there was this girl that I liked. And for some reason, I just felt like something was off. It's like she was being kind to me because I was being kind to her. But then when it came out stepping out of the box, it just wasn't happening. So I became brave again and I asked the question, hey, I like you. Let's take this further. Is the same thing again? No. This wasn't the first nor the second, as you know, from this story alone. Probably the 70th, 80th, I just got sick of it. I got sick of that. I said it's enough. This box I'm in, I'm gonna build a tower to get myself out of it. Brick by brick. I'm going to work on the things I can control and build from there. So I started working on my mind, started working on my physique, started working on how I carried myself, and my finances, of course. And things took a turn. The more I improved, the more I was able to attract. And there's this thing, and I got to the point where I had reached a level that I never thought I'd reach. And the results were astonishing. I'd attract girls that guys dream of walking around with, girls that I used to speak to will circle back around and say, just, hey stranger, hey big head. And it wasn't because of money, it was just because I had become this person that for some reason knew that I could have anything I want. And in that lesson was, you become who you are when you decide that that's exactly what you want to do. That you decide, you know what, the world has already rejected me. And see, I used to look at rejection and think to myself, why always me? And that's when I realized that it's a blessing. And it's a blessing because it's always me, I know that I'm always going to fight for this. So I might as well get good at it. Get good at fighting. things not going your way, great. You're not gonna be like any of these punks or ungrateful people that don't know what it's like not to go through hardship, that don't know what it's like to not face rejection. Some of you are looking at your situation and thinking, why always me? But I'm telling you now, that's your superpower. Because if you're able to overcome what you're facing and join the other side, like I did, things become so easy. Because you've been there. And because you've been there, and they haven't, that's your advantage. So they now look at you and say, why is it that he's so firm and confident? Why is it that he's unshaken? Why is he not scared to lose? You see, I've lost my whole life. How are you able to do 100 and so videos on YouTube without going viral? I failed my whole life. I know what it's like to be useless. And that's why I made the decision to be useful. And so can you. You hear me? And the only reason why I'm strong today is because I was weak. The only reason why I can stand and speak to you today is because I said, listen, those failures don't make me. What I decide makes me. I remember I was in this space where I just kept falling. And I was hoping someone would hold me like this. The only problem is I couldn't see the hands. I couldn't see that God's hands are so big. So I'm here and the hands are right there. They're there to hold me, but the distance, you gotta be patient. So I just kept falling until I reached. And because the hands were so big, I couldn't see that I was actually being held by someone or something. I just felt like it was a flat floor. And because I felt it was a flat floor, I felt like it was down to me to make a change, to make a difference. And the truth is, it's down to you. It really is. No one's coming to save you. You may watch this video and feel energized and pumped, and that's great, but I promise you, if you think for a hot second the government, your parents, you name it, is coming to save you, they've done the best they can. It's up to you now. It's up to you. Never forget the day my dad said he's done what he can and he's passed on the baton. So the reason why I can stand and speak to you like this is because I know I went through hardships, I know I went through failures, but the truth is I don't stand alone anymore. See, there's people that have gone ahead of you. Are you going to make them proud? When you meet your maker, I'm a Christian, so I believe that's God, but listen, I don't know. That's what faith is. When you meet your maker, what's your answer to the gifts he gave you? To the life he gave you? I want to end with this. You are not useless. And as a Christian, the first command is to not use my name in vain. And it's not talking about God. God, that's his name. But what does he proclaim to call himself? I am. So every single time you're saying I am, you're empowering something that he isn't. Do not use his name in vain. Do not insult yourself. I am useless. No, you're not. The God you serve isn't useless, so by that default, you're not useless. You're useful. I am depressed. No, you're not. Learn to separate your emotions from your identity. Because you see, when you separate your emotions from your identity becomes what you decide it to be. Because you understand that emotions don't define you. I am happy. Good. You made good damn choice. I am sad. Not so much. Choose your identity based on truth. What is truth? The truth is, whatever you reap, you shall sow. Whatever you are, whoever you want to be, is what will be. So choose the right things. I am abundant. I never lack. You see, as human beings, if we start to embrace some of the principles, you don't have to believe in Christianity or God. Look, this is one of the truest, realest things you're gonna hear from me. Listen, you can be a Christian or I've seen broke Christians read Bible left, right, and center. That don't mean crap. It don't mean shit. Those principles work because God created them to be that way. I'll give you an example. Principles are no respecters of men. And I got this from Myron Golden. Principles are no respecters of men. Listen, you put an armed robber, a robber, a thief, rapist, you name it, right? You throw them out that window, they're gonna drop. But guess what's also going to drop? Little baby, innocent, had no faults whatsoever. So before you start asking the world to be fair, look at the principles. Are the principles fair? Are they? Really? The richer get richer, the poorer get poorer. This ain't no fair game. This ain't no fair game. No one said this was fair. Whoever told you that this is a fair game is lying to you. The fact that you have a phone where you can watch this makes this an unfair advantage to you, because there's people that have none. They don't have an iPhone, they don't have YouTube, they don't have internet, they don't have food on the table, they've got bombs thrown left, right, and center. This ain't a fair game. Who told you this is fair? There's nothing fair about this. That's why you've got to play your cards. And you've got to play to win. You want fairness, then everybody should be... If someone's at war, everybody should be at war. That's when it's fair. You can't talk about fair when someone's coming outside the door and they've got a bomb in their face. That's not fair. You ain't got that. You don't have that. You can't talk about fairness when some people step outside their door and they don't know if they're coming back because they've got lions and tigers within their same vicinity. That ain't no fair game. You've got road safety and you're talking about fair. You want things to be fair, things are unfair. You're already privileged. You're honored. You have so much more opportunities than some other people in this world. So don't come and say you want fair. There's nothing fair about this. My failures are not fair, because guess what? Because of the shit I've gone through, I promise you, half of the people wouldn't be able to handle what I handled. So stop asking for fairness and play your game and play to win. I've been battered and bruised, cheated on, lied to, finessed, you name it. And the people that haven't would have wished that they had half of the stuff I went through, because I'm telling you now, one of the experiences I had is enough to break them. So you're not useless, my friend. But you must become useful. And how do you become useful? It's very simple. You look at your skills. You look at your mission. What are you good at? People need you. We need you. And if you were to go to the cemetery today, if you were to go and die, whatever it is, you'd be doing not just yourself a disservice, but the people that are waiting for you to realize your dream. I'm sharing this video because even if it's one person that gets this and says, do you know what, I've got to change my ways. My job is done. And I'll just keep growing from there. Are you needed? Absolutely. So become useful. Stop being useless. I'll see you in the next video.